Let's welcome our host Sir Alberto Abira aka TATA BERT.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, magandang araw sa inyong lahat kung saan man kayo. Pinabati ko kayo ng Merry Christmas. We have to go on. The show, though may be boring sometimes, but I'm trying my best to welcome everybody and to greet you any message in any language of the same thought of that the Christ is coming. Today is the second day of Advent, the second week of coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. So, second week of Advent, but on my own, it would be my third week, the beginning of it, but we have to share each other in order to make the show and everything that we make in this hour given about to this modern technology. We have to admire it and appreciate it, and most of all, we have to make use of it. And speaking of closer communication to one another, I received some few quotes to start with. Like this one coming from a friend, it said, a simple reminder for a beautiful and peaceful new year. Happy Monday. Let go of what is done. Be grateful for what remains and look forward to what is underway. It's very beautiful saying, but we have time. We have to make time to apply this proverb in saying this is not made just to let to be listened to in the beautiful air, but this needed to be applied to our everyday living. Here's another one. Another way to conquer. Let's start strong and healthy. One cup for two of vibrant coffee a day. Very interesting. This means that our body has to revive with nutrition in order to face a new challenge that we have to do day by day. So it's up for us to make this things happen and be ready of any eventualities that we will encounter day by day, and who knows, every day will still be surviving or not. Important thing is be ready and accept the consequences, because you cannot say no nor decline. We are here on our temporary stay in this world. So anytime from now, who knows, somewhere, somehow, will come to the call and we have to face the reality. So for now, enjoy the moment. So as we are existing here in Montreal, and we are a member of a community, because it is needed, it is a paramount, it is necessary that we have to be communicating and listening and making the part of the community at any rate that you could be contributing to the needs and the prosper of our community as a whole and the family at large. So this is it. And so that is the only way we could attain contentment. Happiness is the object, but we have to strive in order to attain to that. A peace and tranquility of your moment will make you gain comfort and relief of any hindrance and obstacles that you will face day by day, and you will be more healthier, very ready in the eventualities. So, and in community, there will always be pros and cons. Aspiration of individual is totally different. One may aspire for another thing, and so as other people may aspire for another thing. But all in all, this is one thought that every community has to be together in order to have a mutual understanding between one another and having a prosperous community. Prosperous not only in material thing, but understanding in loving and caring. That's what we call our heritage, an unwritten law obeying a heritage which has to be diligently observed and followed by every one of us, this generation. So we're here, vibrant and happy and healthy. So don't forget the very important word, thank God, being alive every day and day out for this moment and temporaries. Stay in this earth for a while. Who knows we'll be living, but we have to live a memory that will be lasting to be remembered as a good person, loving, caring, and hospitable to every member of our community. That's how you live. That's how you implant an impression that who you are. You don't have to be millionaire or to create or to discover or to donate. A simple living, self-respect, that is the necessary in everything. It comes to an attention that our community has such so many association, and the most leading one here, of course, I have to say it again, is farmers. And the new development that after election, there was some winner and loser, but some of us cannot accept the outcome of the election. So, of course, yeah, you protest. So you file a protest and bring to court, which never happened before. But now, why this simple member of association, simple voluntary work as an officer association has go beyond the thoughts of every individual, that why they have to go to court? Is it really necessary? So, but they have done it. So now we have to face the reality that it is very serious thing now. But sometimes court ruling are still to be challenged. So, because money-wise, because if you don't have money, you cannot challenge because you have to file a fee, you have to hire an attorney. But our kababayan is doing that happily in order to prove that they have money and rights that they could do if they could challenge the court, if they could challenge the decision of the majority. or reverse it. But hopefully, everybody will come, wake up for the reality. This is a volunteer work, and you don't have to be an officer if you want to serve the community. I could name names here that they are not an officer of an organization, but they are doing humanitarian work as a volunteer and helping fellow Filipinos to whatever they need on their own capacity, which is very noble. And have to salute these persons. God bless these people. But for those politicians who cannot accept the election results, God bless you too. Hopefully, one day you will realize what you are doing. Because no matter what you say, election result, there will be winner and loser. So, ladies and gentlemen, accept the reality that there will be winner or loser. So, if you cannot accept this decision, don't participate. Otherwise, make your own association as what others are doing. So when they put up their own association, they will be president for life. Do it. Yes, we know that had it not been for the farmers building, maybe 3 or 4 farmers branches already. It has happened before in early 60s and 70s. We have 2 association of farmers, one in the east and one in the west. But now we have the building. I hope they will have the nerve to put up another name because the regions will not allow that using the same name with the same objectives. Association will be only one. If you have to put another association, make another name, but don't use farmers. But since they cannot do that, so they stick to the association and be ready again immediately after the election. They start campaigning. They are the better one. Why cannot we just work together? You have ideas? Good. Let's help one another. So what if you are not the president? Who cares? Your objective is to serve. Your objective is to help our community. So please be humble enough to accept reality that not everybody, because in an organization there will only one president. So wait for your turn or come back again as what you are doing. This will be your third term, but you are still there. Good. That shows that you have willingness to serve. Some question what serving what. So that's for you to answer. Every moment in this organization, especially our committee, we need to be get united. We are from from other ethnic people that they are one community and there are no splinters. Of course, we could also pinpoint some communities, some other ethnic communities that have that disagreement or agreement, but not going to the court because even the local politician will be asking, why do you have to do that? And one time, like the other 2 days or 3 days ago, a certain guest here asked me why we Filipinos cannot support a fellow Filipino when it comes to uh, business improvement or improving in their life. We have that crab mentality. If someone is making good or improvement in the status, especially in business or any other place in the society, we cannot support that. We are not happy that our Filipinos, our co-Filipinos is having a good position or having a good life or having a good standard of living or having improved in the society and business likewise. we have to accept that not everybody will have the same faith and the same uh, luck and choice, because we know here in North America, the land of opportunity, you struggle hard, you get what you want. You cannot just, when somebody is making an improvement, you put them down because you are not there. Please, let's accept reality. We have to be happy that somebody about color or our community leaders and co-Filipinos are improving, because who knows, they could share it. Like for example, this situation, who is giving what? Everyone gave on their own capacity to donate and help, because of our spirit of bayanihan is always on our heart. No matter what situation is, but we cannot just let it go and look at them. When we have something in our pocket, we always share. So likewise, not only sharing, but let's respect and accept the reality that what the opportunity they receive will also be yours. It's totally because you are an individual, you have your own distinction, you have your own capacity. So, whatever it's accepted, okay, so that's an acceptance. And that is the reason for love, and to remind us that we have to be humble, we have to follow our Savior, Jesus Christ, who was born in the poorest situation, but of his love to us, he come and this as a human being in order to redeem us from our sins. So whatever it is, humility in acceptance and good work in loving our co-persons, co-human beings, because they have the right to live. We are created as equal as you are. So respect one another. Better still, love one another. That is the reason. So the, the message that the Jesus Christ is coming back is to remind us again, be humble, be accepting, be ready to face reality, because the earth that he gave us, we people are the one destroying it. You know, how do we have to revive ourselves? Okay, we have to go back to our history here in Montreal. Montreal, and as I come here in early 70s, people are very close to each other. Well, in fact, it happens when I was in Guam. If there is a new arrivals, the old timers has to contribute a dollar little things for him or her to start with. We even donate $5 or more, whatever we can do for the new landed kababayan has to start something with. We offer our uh, some utensils to start with, so life will be easy. So that as a newcomer, you feel welcome and grateful. So the the gratitude is expanding and pass on to the next generation. That's right, but eventually it's gone now. Here in Montreal, so we also do that. In 1972, I got the nickname of Godfather. Not it is literal Godfather, unlike the movie Marlon Brando, who is a gangster or lord. But mine, I'm being a Godfather because I was really a sponsor on either the marriage, the sponsor their grandchildren or children being baptized. In fact, for a marriage, I could count at least 25, and for the silver anniversary wedding, I have 4 or 5. So for the baptismal, oh, there's a lot, but most of the time, it's too much for me to be the godfather in baptism. So I only accept for the uh, matrimonial sponsors, and so I'm glad these people are successful and they are blessed, and of course they are grateful. So, but they have their own lives, so I don't have to name names because it might embarrass. But they know I don't have to mention names. So sometimes for me, I already forgot it. So, but when I meet them on the street, they usually just amen or kiss by hand as a respect or gratitude, whatever it is. But it's a good tradition on the Filipino side. Speaking of civic involvement, I have been a president of several organizations. I was a president of the First Basketball Association, and then farmers, and I've been inducting officers maybe 5 or 7 organizations. So be it. I share, then build up the organization, which is now very successful. They have organized their own activities and listen. So that's how it is. We have to see it. We have to complement each other if it is needed. But God knows we prosper together because we have that unwritten laws of respect and paying gratitude to our elders and to those who share their talents and wisdom. We respect these people. We respect the elders. That is the fact that we Filipinos are very hospitable and respectful and reliable most of the time when it comes to duties and responsibility when we are hired as an employee of this adopted country. The reality and surviving in a community like ours is involvement. Involvement that makes satisfy that you have done or make your own contribution without any recognition. There are those who do it just for publicity, and they will not accept any position but only president or treasurer. So we are so many kinds of Filipinos attitude. But to each his own, because that's what we want. So we have to accept it. So we might be asking why you have to be an officer before you could uh, serve our community. Well, they have their own answers. So, you have your own question. So keep it that way. So long as we don't hurt each other, so long as we destroy each other, live and let live. That is how we harmoniously living together in this society. Because we cannot dictate just because what you are doing You like it? Some people have their own choice, so let it go. Like, for example, running back again and again and as officers, you cannot blame them. That's what they want, so let it go. So you will be surprised that these officers who were declared, I don't know if it is true that they were uh, they lost the election in last 2 years or no, or and the decision was made by the court. I don't know if it is official or not, but they're not even announcing it. So what could you do? You file a court again, also like them? No, no. Leave it peace.
Si Kinig, kung sabot ko sa trabaho, Peter niyo,
You wanted to keep it that way. If they will not vacate the place,
bigyan ko si Kinig.
don't act like them. You don't have to go to court and to drag them out if they don't want to. Let them stay there. They know what was the ruling. If that was the ruling and they will not vacate it, don't expect other people will file a court for this to vacate the place. That will not happen. We'll watch them. eh, Keep the place because we old timers really have shed our tears, manpower, and time to obtain that building, hoping that the next generation will be kind enough to maintain and support and possibly improve and enlarge for the need since our community is bigger and bigger every year. The need is bigger now, so we need a bigger community center. But since the beginning, it always stays that way. And hopefully, I don't know when and who will, that someday will wake up that they will devote also their mind that there is a need of improvement and in enlargement in addition to this building. Okay, I would like to have listen to music because this is Christmas. What about an intermission of musical Christmas songs, especially Tagalog song?
Thank you, Try Sunfilm. Please subscribe and share.
Whatever available. Sudo, inaan mo lang boses mo. Okay, thank you for the breather. This afternoon, we have a good teleconference with the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal. A plan of Christmas party online and the upcoming anniversary celebration, hopefully this February or March situation permits, and but we have to be ready and make a preparation. So we have the discussion to have a Christmas party first, but so we discuss uh, the exchange of gift, which is very traditional. So exchanging gift to be received and delivered only by our chairman, Mr. Al Abdul, because making a party face to face is not allowed. So we make the party and it's an every adobe. So our chairman will pick up and deliver our food assigned to us and our gifts, which is intended already determined through raffles. So we don't know whom to give, but uh, we will be knowing only on the deadline when it's about time to pick up our chairman for distribution. So we will open our gifts and eat together an hour in front of our camera and exchanging pleasantries. But I asked them, I interject this question. A Christmas party usually only mostly refer to children, but since children will not be joining us, uh, those who have not, but for those who have kids, they could join the parents and fishing the camera and making it toast or making our chorus, like, singing the Christmas carols. So that's to maintain the spirit of Christmas because it is tradition and it's a very noble costume, especially in the Philippines, who is celebrating the longest Christmas party or Christmas seasons ever and all over the world. We the least that we could celebrate at only 3 months or four, and after that, by January, start also of merrymaking, especially up to June and July, because weather permits, by March, we are already on the park if snow already subside. And weather permits, we are always on the park making picnics and places because we love outside doors and picnicking and making a merrymaking. We don't have to be as rich as other people, but cup of tea and a sandwich suffice to make our pleasantries and exchanging and laughing, meeting one another. How many wrinkles each and every one's obtained and made in the last winter. So that's how we enjoy life. That's why we are always young because it is the heart of your insecurity that makes you old. If you are humble and happy and contented, you will always stay young because not by looks but your heart is always young because laughter is always a good food for the thought and mind and body. So let's do it. Don't worry too much because no matter how we worry about material things, if things doesn't belong to us, it's not ours. No matter how much you do. But don't just stay nothing and without struggling and you expect something. That won't work. You have to strive in order to get what you want. God help those who help themselves. An idle man, listen this, devil will play on your mind and that will start your decaying and depression in your heart. Depression is the number one killing of one's body. and soul. Because if you are worrying too much, if you have cannot accept reality, because if you start worrying and craving for more and more, that is the start of your downfall. Just like saying, if you have, oh, I know everything. When you say that you know everything, believe me, that is the end of your knowing. Because every moment, every of your life, something is changing, something new is coming up. So you cannot say that you know, because what you know today is history for tomorrow. Keep improving, keep up to date, keep your life active. So your mind will not be stagnant and the devil will not occupy your space in your heart. So loving and laughter, sharing, which is the paramount to, for our kababayan that they are in dire in need for now. Please, I'll ask you again and again, share, because if we cannot share our kababayan, who would? If we cannot share to our families, don't expect others will support your families when you are there standing alone and you have something to share and you don't. Plus, but I know you have a good heart. Filipinos are always like that. Even the bread that they are about to put in their mouth when somebody, this to somebody is in need, they have to share it. That is the saying. Susubo mo na lang, pero ibigay mo pa dahil sa malambot ang puso. Kasi ang kalambutan ng puso mo, naghahari ang Panginoon sa iyong kaluluwa at gabayan ka kung ano mang kailangan sa buhay mo. Hindi na natin kailangan na maging sino ka man. Ang importante, alam mo kung sino ka. Alam mo ang kahinaan mo. Alam mo ang kakayahan mo. Kaya, accept you are and be ready to share the most important thing. So, so much so for that. I would like to call again this who promised me to akyat or make the comments, but no one is posting now anymore. What happened now to the postings? In the last few days, lots of postings are being, appearing in this chat chart, but there is none. Maybe I have to accept that. Oh, here there are so many. The Esperanza Velantris. Okay, shout out, Julio, kamusta ang heart throb ng UT? YT, what's that? YT. Okay, magandang gabi po, Tata Bert. Say Esperanza Velantris. And Jello, you are avid listeners. I salute you. You, despite your of my stammering statement, but you are there all the time to make comments. Thank you, Iho. God bless you. So this is it, because somebody has to do it. So hopefully somebody will come. Tata Bird, maybe I love you, so you have to rest. I will accept that. So I'm waiting for that day that somebody would take my place, because this is the product of Norberto and Jonathan, and I have to do it. So I'm not directly helping them, but I'd like to share to the community whatever what I have. But through their efforts requesting me to do this job, I think it's a good start to for sharing, because maybe if somebody doesn't like me, they could say that you have enough done already. So we are here to take your place. Thank you. Hopefully, I will be waiting for that moment when somebody come forward and give me a good to rest. It's not necessarily good reason, but they would give me the break that I had to be the one watching instead of being watched. So that is a give and take. So we need some youth. We need your experience. We need your know-how. Why don't we make comments also? Not all the time I will be strong, but please come forward. So I could talk back again because the subject is noon at ngayon. Noon, I have expressed so much already. I don't know if I have said this, how do we happen to have that bust of Rizal? Bust of Rizal, I have initiated that and with the support of Tony Fernandez. Why I have happen to have that thought? Because it started when I was in the Philippines when the country was in bus preparation in 1998, a preparation that 1999 will be the 100th year of Philippine independence. So, in 1997, Philippine government and the Philippine media and the created a consciousness of the celebration of our centennial year of independence. So, all historical events and facts are being republished for letting the people look at the past and to reconsider and thought that our forefathers are really struggled hard and fought for this freedom that we enjoy in this 19th centuries. Because in 17th and 18th centuries was really hard time in our country. We have been for 300 years under the yoke of the Spanish. So we endure. So despite of these things, in 1800, our intelligentsia, like our called heroes, Rizal, Bonifacio, Jacinto, Lopizana, and all the rest, because they have already the rich people of our country, they studied abroad because in the Philippines they cannot get what they want to study. So when they are mostly in Europe, they were awakened with the abuses of the foreign invaders in our country. So they cannot exercise their thoughts and they cannot convince even their kababayan that they are being humiliated, they are being enslaved. So they have to be in other country which they are free to write and talk about it. So that is why all these, especially the two novels of Dr. Rizal, the Noli and Fili, was written not in the Philippines, but in Germany, China, and in Germany, especially in Europe. It was already funny, finished. So, but still, that book was not allowed to be distributed or to be read or to be available in the Philippines. But still, of course, good deeds always will find its way. So it was being read, and that's the time when the Filipinos were awakened that what the Spaniards are doing is not applicable, is not acceptable to human beings. So they realized that they have to show their rights and privileges as a human being. So that's the start of revolution. So all the rest are history. We have to be grateful for our national heritage. That's why we are celebrating or memories of the past is always lasting for the benefits of our generation. So we have to be grateful. We have to do it right way. So like remembering our heroes, that's why this December also a month of Dr. Rizal. June was his birthday and December was his execution. execution date. It's December 30th, we have to prepare that already. And the organization has that specialty, like the execution tableau being portrayed and played and by the Knights of the Sun, which is very admirable and noble act. So, what is this? Shout out Tata. What is that? So, that is how the noon applies to the title of this show. Noon was Dr. Rizal, but I think it is out more of a subject because I think the audience would like rather to see the old timer Filipinos here. I could say the old timer because I was able to talk to Mr. As histories that when he arrived here in 1952, the, it was only the time that the digging of the Kari Expressway started and the birth of the Nance Island, of the, is it Nance Island? No, no. So, because all the stones and earth that being dug was put down in the middle of the river of St. Laurent River and built to that island. So that's why in 1970, the, the exposition, the Expo 70 was exhibited and I Mr. or better still, Pastor Orlando Racazzo has the recordings that for the first time Philippine flag was displayed under uh, show because it's a exposition of all countries of Philippine was represented by Orlando Castle with all novelties and souvenirs and products of the Philippines was displayed. At the same time, flying the first time the Philippine flag, which is it has the documentation and proof and pictures, but we have to someday we could reconcile all these things for the next generation to be read, recognize this historical event in this island that Philippines was re-established here also in Montreal in 1970. And then there is our history, which is where every and then the coming generation have enjoyed because these old timers have planted a good seed that we Filipinos are reliable and when the next immigrants coming in, it will be easier for them because the our old timers have proven that the coming in immigrants of Filipino origin is reliable. So now how it is, we are number one in this world. So that is why not only Rizal was the first OFW because the first batch of OFW are the rich people because at the time going to Europe it takes you 3 months and how much it costs. So but we have to be grateful for these people because their intention is to learn and to awaken the next generation that we are not to be subjected by the ruling of being slave of these foreign invaders in our country. So, the next batch of OFW are our old timers here who established here in the early 60s and 70s. And the rest is history because these people really implanted a good impression that our bread is reliable, have a good determination, and ready and willing for any eventualist or labor to deliver when it is assigned to them. And that's wherever we are fellow Filipinos, and this time will easily be accepted. So I don't have to tell you to be thankful to the old timers because that is our nature, that is our quality of being reliable industry, and most of all, willing and able because we don't come here because of our wealth carrying it with us, but our talent and experience is acceptable wherever we are. So let's have to thank God that we are this stubborn and able-bodied wherever we are. And likewise, you young people have inherited the stuff. So let's keep this quality of being Filipino respectable. So you could only gain respect if you respect yourself. So much so for that. So, but for now, what is important thing is harmony, give and take, respect one another, and of course, loving God and respect and forgive, far-fearing fellow will always bear fruit in a good place in the heart of God. It's hard to explain, but your feeling of doing good will really elevate your heart and mind to the next level of life of being satisfied and contentment that thank God I have that body and soul to serve you wholeheartedly and let me say and amen to you all the time. Every day I wake up that being alive. So much so for that. So I will go back to our heritage plan. And not only heritage, I will be celebrating this Christmas, of course. Here also, the Order of Knights of Rizal. Before Knights of Rizal, we feel that we are very much respected. When when we were out of when we go out with uniform, they really uh, had an admiration we feel by their looks and making a wing that we are proudly because as Knights of Rizal and what they call in the old days, caballeros, caballeros sa Tagalog, maginoo. So please, when you are in uniform, remember that you are a caballero, magino, helpful, real, willing, and ready to extend help and support to your fellow men whenever they are. It doesn't matter to be Filipino or not, but extending your muscles and a few cents when it is needed, please do so because sharing will give you a return, not materially all the time, but good health, which is cannot be put a dollar value on that. Peace of mind and a good feeling that you are God is watching you and looking forward to do your services and the eventualities that you will be facing again and again for the cause of humanity. So, so this is the only advice because no callers. No one is want to join me, so that's how it is. But I will survive for the tonight, and tomorrow I will be asking you to do. Please come in. I know you have your own topic, so I will run out of my topics because during this lockdown, I am not so much intermingled with the rest of the community. I am always be invited, but I really tone down because I respect the protocols that the government require, that wear mask, wash hands, and distancing. So I always wake up well and walk from here to Barnhord and back, but I don't stay and mingle so much because I respect the requirements of the protocol. So, but I know you don't have to be facing each other to exchange pleasantries and ideas. Sharing is the best thing for you because when you have some good ideas, it is not good ideas if you could just keep it to yourself. Share, it will become good. Likewise, what any materials you have, share will be effective and most valuable if it is being shared. But if you keep what you have and nobody knows, and eventually you will forget it. So share so you have the comfort and the feeling that you have done as a Christian person, that not necessarily a million to have to share. Sharing, loving, and of course, most of all, respect. Okay? So, thank God it's Friday. It's Monday to start the week again. And then, day in and day out, we have to find and struggle and accept that we will be living, and we have to be thankful that we will be living again and again. Hopefully, through God's will, that we will be guided and we will be uh, blessed for doing His duty for us in order to fulfill our mission in this earth. Thank God every day. The mere fact that you wake up is a good, blessed. So that's how we be more formidable in any situation in our life. Now it's time to say goodbye, and hopefully, for now, that's why they say don't never say goodbye, but we would rather say see you again tomorrow. Thanks for your patience and listening, and maybe tomorrow you will be dragging yourself to have pity on me to share your ideas to the communities, and hopefully we will combine efforts and messages for our community to be awakened. Thank you, everybody. Iraq, Bodosa, thank you, Tata Bird. Nice of you. At least your comments suffice to have and make me struggle, and more of this will be more added to the experience and lamentations if it has to be. But thank God you are there, a person, because that's what God said. One soul that believes in God is a good reason to save the world. So thank you, everybody, and good night. And hopefully tomorrow we'll meet again and feed me whatever has to be said. So express it to me, guide me, because one another has to help around everyone. Okay? Good night and maraming salamat. See you tomorrow. with more vigor and subjects to be discussed in arguments.